This is a special feature, folks. Hello, hello, of the Movie Bros podcast. And happy holidays on this joyous occasion, if you celebrate or don't, if you are a nerd or not. This is, of course, for May the 4th, or May the 4th be with you, or depending on when we actually decide to post this, this might be Revenge of the 5th. So if you are not picking up on what I'm putting down, not smelling what I'm cooking, this is going to be a Star Wars centric episode. This might be a total ramble clusterfuck. This might be a analytical nightmare. Who knows? Yeah, Hayden. I mean, how do you think we should structure this?
Well, we had the idea that, well, maybe we could just give our thoughts on all official 6 Star Wars movies, and then maybe the other
6
3.
or 9?
Okay, well, let's just start there. Um, do you consider the official Star Wars canon to be 6 or 9 movies?
Oh, it's 9 movies. Even if some of them are not good, they're still 9 movies.
Okay.
They're in the same universe. They follow the same characters. What are you talking about?
No, I mean, you're right. I just
Just
freaking
because
Rise of Skywalker is such a dumpster fire.
we'll talk about it. So let's. Do you want to? Do we
And
want to
then,
go chronologically, or do you want to go?
do we want to start with A New Hope, or do we want to start with Phantom Menace?
I say we start with Phantom Menace. I say we go chronologically, not from release date, but the actual.
Okay.
Like,
And then
what's
do we
going on.
want to include things like Solo and Rogue One? Because those are a Star Wars story. I feel like we should just do the mainline ones.
Let's do the main, and then let's see where we're at on timing. How about that?
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay. So Phantom Menace. If you remember, folks, we did sort of talk about this, even though this is such an early episode of ours, that most of it was cut out. Yeah, which pains me because I honestly love that movie so much.
Really?
Oh, dude, looking back, it's
Oh,
fun, it's original, like it's both like kind of
I
racist.
it kind of is. So I feel like it gets more hate than it actually deserves. There
Oh,
is a very
100%.
common saying online that no one hates Star Wars like Star Wars fans. Like there's a lot of people within that community that are just never satisfied with anything because their memories of 4 through 6 are so
Vivid.
cherished.
Sure.
I think
No, the ships are cool. Darth Maul's fucking awesome, dude. Like, no, that
ship's
movie's a
cool, Darth
banger.
Maul's cool. I
The
think it is a
music.
little goofy for the start of the intergalactic saga. I think.
I mean, so what I
But on the
think
other
it.
hand, if you look at it as the prequel trilogy and it gets slowly more mature as it goes until
Yes,
we get to Revenge of the
yes,
Sith, then I'm okay with it.
I agree with that, but I also like keep in mind like the originals I think were not meant for a younger audience. Like I think later on they're like, "Oh, we could also like we could make these movies fun but still have like, oh, you could bring your kids to this." Like I don't think the
Yes.
original Star Wars movie you were bringing like a 10-year-old kid. Like
No, I mean there's a reason we didn't get Ewoks until Return of the Jedi.
exactly. And even then that was I mean, like I just all the like birthday parties as a kid that were Star Wars, like Phantom Menace or
Oh
Clone
yeah.
Wars or whatever. Yeah. What
So
would
I,
so
I
let's
I think something we should do is that we should give each one a rating as we go.
okay. I would give. Let me think
And
about
then
it.
like pros and cons about each one, what we like about it, just so we can kind of clip through all 9 movies.
I would give. I would give Phantom Menace a 4 out of 5.
I personally would go 3.5 just because I mean there is a lot of annoying stuff that drags down the plot. I don't want to point the finger at Jar Jar. He's not the only one,
But
but he is a
he's not
big
in the
part of
movie
it.
that much. I don't know.
I don't know. I,
Plus,
I think
okay,
I
as a pro, just as a putting it out there,
okay.
Liam Neeson, dude, Qui-Gon Jinn's fucking awesome, dude.
Qui-Gon Jinn is fucking awesome, and then we don't see any more of him.
You mean because he died?
Yes, I get that was the plan, but like I don't know what. Why would you introduce someone that cool and then just kill him off for shock value?
Because the story's not about him.
I know that now, but I guess like I guess like as a kid watching this, I'm like, oh, he's awesome. Why'd we kill him off? I'm like, I get it now, but I think I'd still stay with like,
Okay,
3.5 out of 5, just because I think
that's
I
fair.
enjoy the
No,
other
no,
two more.
I definitely do get that, but
Although as a highlight though, just you could make the entire movie just the pod race, and I
oh,
would
dude,
watch
that's
that.
all. I totally forgot. Like, dude, how sick is the fucking pod race?
And also like the sound design on the pod race, because we
Yes,
went and watched
no,
this
it's
like
super cool.
re-released in theaters, just incredible.
Okay,
Well, okay,
Attack of the
let me
Clones.
move on to Attack of the Clones. Any
I
off the cuff thoughts?
of the prequels, this is the lowest for me, and I've come to appreciate it more, but it's still I would call this more like a 3 to 3.5 out of 5. Like there are some parts of it that are beautiful, um, that I want to see in a theater again. There are a lot of parts of it that I don't care about.
I
Like
think in
some
a
of the
way I'm
Padme
actually
and
agreeing with you because this one just feels the most disjointed.
well, even like the beginning part with the assassination stuff is cool, but then you realize, oh, it's a bounty hunter hiring a bounty hunter who hires a
I
droid
saw a
who
video about
uses
that
a worm.
earlier.
Like
It's
all of
like,
that
okay,
stuff is like that
so
whole
Palpatine
chase
needs to
scene.
kill Padme, but he doesn't want to do it himself. So he
Mm-hmm.
hires this guy, who hires this guy, who hires this guy,
Yes,
who
yes.
uses robots, who deploy worms. Like,
No,
it's
but that
so
whole like,
convoluted.
but again, think of the sound as like when they're in those like speeders chasing through
Oh
like
yeah,
the freeway, all the sounds and all like the visuals. Ugh, super cool.
like I don't hate it. It's just the weakest of the three.
Exactly. So again, I wouldn't, I don't want to discount it because of that, but like even all the stuff on the like insect planet, like in the
I
like the
like that part.
gladiator dome, very fun. That's like my ideal Padme outfit. Oh my
Oh, where
god,
she's like wearing the midriff, and she's
the
got
white
the
midriff. Yes,
oh
it's
yeah.
fucking awesome, dude.
I
Although
mean,
like
also not to be outdone by the
the corset,
the freaking like BDSM black corset where she tells
yes,
you we can't do anything sexual. Let me wear my most sexual
it's
outfit.
dude, it's ridiculous. And he's
It's
like, oh, like
it's
I'm like,
nuts.
I desire for you. So like, why do you desire? And I'm like, dude,
Like,
again,
trust me,
if
I get it, Anakin. I'm
well,
right there with you.
the trait like there are like I try to see the whole like it should not matter what someone wears, like,
I mean, sure.
but at the same time I get his attraction to her, and I get his subsequent like losing his mind when he kills her in the long run.
Yeah, I
Like,
guess.
dude, you fumbled that. Of course, I'd be
You fumbled
pissed.
peak Natalie Portman? Yeah.
Oh man. So that yeah, and that one has Django Fett, which I like Django Fett, and you actually get to see Mace Windu do some shit with his purple lightsaber,
Yeah.
and Count Dooku is like the main bad guy of that one.
Yes. I think for me this one is the weakest of the trilogy because it nothing feels as connected. Because like even in Phantom Menace, it kind of all takes place on Tatooine and then a little bit in space. This one,
To a
oh,
certain degree.
we're on like three different planets, and there's like equally three different plot lines going on. I I felt like George Lucas was trying to do too much, so
Fair.
I don't know. What would
Okay,
you give
and
it out of?
then
Oh, sorry, and then you said it was for you was like a 2 to 3 out of 5.
no, I'd probably call it 3 to 3.5. None of these are like bad movies. Okay, not until we get to the sequels are they that bad, but like I don't think any of the first three are bad movies by any means.
Yeah, I think this is definitely not as good as Phantom Menace, obviously, but it's still like a solid 3. There's enough fun to be had, to keep it from being actually like bad, bad.
On Letterbox, so for each movie, like there's always like a little like not slogan, but like kind of like the I don't know, like the little phrase for the movie.
Yeah,
So Phantom Menace was every saga has a beginning. Okay, that's kind of generic,
but
but
it's kind of cool.
yeah. But episode 2, it's like, oh, a Jedi shall not know anger, nor hatred, nor love. I was like, ooh, okay,
Again, but
because
like that's such a hard line. Use that for like Revenge of the Sith.
that okay. Hold on. Speaking of Revenge of the Sith, let's see. It says interesting. It says the saga is complete.
Which okay, that's also
Sort
kind
of.
of cool.
But the thing is, the saga's not complete.
Disney hadn't bought it yet, and at that point, it was complete.
Sure. I don't know. Okay, so Revenge of the Sith, I'd call that more like a
It's a solid 4 out of 5
probably
for me.
4 to 4.5. Yeah, like yes, you need the other two movies to get you there because basically the whole third movie is just a payoff for the first two movies and slash a
Yes,
build up for like the reasoning behind episode 4, 5, and 6. But like
I think there's still a
from
lot
start to
of
finish, dude.
wonky dialogue, although you've kind of come to enjoy it at this point. And Ian McDermott, who plays Palpatine, looks like he's having a fucking blast.
Yes,
Like
he
he looks like he's
does.
having a great time. Well, I was
just
I
dude, like
was I was
the
reading an interview that he did, back in the day, yesterday. I think he was saying, "Oh, I was talking to George, and like I'm at like an 8. Do you want me to keep going?" And apparently George is like, "Yes, keep going over the top. This is the vibe we want." So
sure, have
the
at it.
the crazy no ultimate
Do it.
power, do it, like that's because that's what George Lucas wanted.
Which I mean, like we referenced in our last regular episode, we went and saw this in theaters, and yeah, it's amazing on the big screen, like the big outer space
Oh
at
my
the beginning.
god,
But there were so
it's
many
just
points where,
pure
like,
art.
yes, but like there are so many points where, like, uh, he's
You
like,
can
"Oh,
hear
kill
everyone
him."
laughing.
Everyone laughs. So yeah, I don't know, just
So I mean, and there's a lot of whiny Anakin,
there
but
is,
you need whiny Anakin for him to grow distrustful of the Jedi. So
of
it's
course,
okay.
and something I think it's just from the last couple years of like not just enjoying a movie, like looking at it more for like technically, like uh all of the especially the first three movies, and I'm sure there's gonna be some for uh 7, 8, 9, but there's several points in this where I was like, oh man, like just the still of this as like a piece of art, super pretty. Like so many points of
Oh
yes,
yeah.
it's angsty, angry Anakin of him just like standing somewhere, just staring off at the sunset.
Oh,
But
I
I'm like, oh,
mean,
it's beautiful, dude.
yeah. That's what I
Like the
was gonna
whole
say.
everything, it looks amazing.
I mean, George Lucas is George Lucas for a reason. I mean, even if people don't think he's all that these days because of the
Other
the
things.
trilogy, or sorry, because the prequels aren't as loved as perhaps we love them.
Well, the prequels are more our era than the most of like, or I would say the older generation of Star Wars fans are from the original series, and
Oh yeah,
our generation of fans are from the newer series.
yeah, yeah.
That's why like the older generation hates the prequels and we hate the sequels.
I don't.
And again, I
I
don't know
would
if I
say that they
hate the
don't hate
sequels,
the
to be honest.
sequels. I'm gonna say that way. I don't. Sorry, I don't think that they hate the prequels in the same way that I don't think that I hate the sequels. I just
That's a
wish they
general
were better.
term, but yes, I agree. All right, number 4,
Well,
the
move on
original.
to the one that started it all, A New Hope.
I would
I
rate
mean,
this
what is there to say
probably
that has not been said about A New Hope at this point? It's great. It's not the best of the original three, but it
no,
is maybe one of the best. You know.
like a new concept, like totally out there from
Oh,
anything
absolutely. I mean,
else.
it completely changed not only science fiction but movies forever. Like, I mean, just in the way that they're edited, in the way that they're shot. I mean, it put John Williams on the map. It completely changed how we design spaceships in an entertainment, type of way. It is,
For
it's
yes, for
influential,
that stuff alone, I would say like okay, even if the actual movie was shit, which it's not,
which it's not.
it should get good ratings just for that. But generally, I would say this is probably like a very solid 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I think it's a solid 4.5 out of 5 for me. And I think it is plagued by the same thing that the prequels were plagued with, is that George Lucas writes dialogue in a very George Lucasy way, and sometimes it comes across as silly. And I think there's a lot of silly Luke Skywalker dialogue that just I think we all know and accept it now, but it
Sure.
it comes across as goofy.
And the quote that Letterbox uses is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And like, what a like that whole like the scroll, the credits at the
Oh yeah.
beginning, like all of that, like totally new. Yeah. Uh, Something looking at also all the posters of these, like the
Oh,
prequels,
iconic, beautiful stuff.
yes, but like especially the originals, like the both Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back, the posters are beautiful. Like they're so cool
Oh
looking.
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's like sometimes I'll look at eBay for like collectors stuff. What you
Sure.
really want the nice versions of, you want the Japanese stuff
Oh
because
yeah,
they
I've seen
weren't.
those.
Oh, they're so cool
Mm-hmm.
because you have all these alternative art styles and you get a lot more like just weird graphics and things like that. Just they're beautiful.
Maybe like a side note, but I don't know what this made me think of. But uh, after at least the first six came out, and we were of the right age where we got basically the Lego Star Wars game of the first six. God, that thing was so much fun. Like the
I own
amount of
it.
hours we put into that thing, Jesus. On the original Xbox.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Empire, I feel like most people, and I do agree, is
I
the
mean,
best of the originals.
I think it's the best of all of them. I mean, and not like discounting, Revenge of a Sith or whatever. Like, I think this is the best Star Wars movie. I just, especially when I think of, okay, what do we all associate with Star Wars? It's things like, okay, it's Jabba the Hutt. He appears in this one. It's the AT-AT walkers. They show up in this one. It's where we introduce Yoda.
True.
I think there is so much iconic things that we have as a society, which is a weird way to put that, but like they all stem from Empire Strikes Back. This is the best one by far.
Do you think this is and like it's got that iconic Luke and Vader fight? Like in
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
this
plus
is
plus
right after Han Solo gets frozen in carbonite.
well, exactly. Like you got Lando Calrissian in this. What's the name of the city in the sky?
The Sky City. Yeah, I don't can't remember what it's called, but
Cloud City, because I knew it
Cloud
was
City.
something obvious. Like you've got Cloud City, you've got all the carbonite stuff. It just there are
Boba
so
Fett. Yeah.
absolutely. It just this for me is the 5 out of 5 for the franchise. It's perfect.
I I still would probably
Which one is
I
better?
no I'm still I don't know why I'm so tentative to give it. Like I would want to give it at least a 4.5, but I don't know what is holding me back from giving it a 5. But
I don't know. I mean, the whole opening of the Hoth siege,
oh yeah, oh yeah.
like it's awesome.
Okay, so that's Empire, which was the Star Wars saga continues, which kind of a lame. I don't know. They could have
Eh.
done more with that.
And then Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi, which was Return to a Galaxy Far, Far Away. Also, kind of as a
Kind of
little.
meh. I like it. I don't love it. Like it is the classic, send off at least at the time for the finishing of the story, and I love it for that. But for the high stakes and
Oh yeah,
the
let's just
kind of
make
like
another Death Star.
that it was a little bit goofy.
But like all
And
the stuff with the Emperor, like actually
oh yeah, he's great.
Luke and yeah, no, it's great. And if I look at back when I first saw these as a little kid, all the Ewok stuff were lots of fun as a little kid.
Yeah, I don't know about that now.
Now, so. But I liked when they were on Endor though. Like all the green felt
I
like
mean,
they were just
I
in
love all
Washington somewhere.
I love all the speeder bike chases. Those are
Yes,
cool.
no, those speeder bikes are fucking awesome.
I just I look at the Ewoks and I can't not see this was an instruction from a toy company.
To a certain, I mean, they had to wrap up the story, but yes, they could have
I mean,
maybe gone different directions.
obviously it's not bad. I think that Empire Strikes Back is just so much better.
Well, even New Hope is also better.
Yeah, so I think it's a solid 4 out of 5 for me. Like it's still good, but it
Yeah,
is
I'd
not.
probably call it more 3.5, maybe.
Yeah, That's fair. That's fair.
All
Well,
right, and
we now
then
we now go into the uncharted territory of the Disney sequels. How do we feel about The Force Awakens?
it basically just more or less a remake of A New Hope, but
Very much is.
I mean, I like it. I think it's not, again, I like the characters. I think they could have gone I don't like that they chose to basically split Han Solo into two characters
Yeah.
because Poe and Finn are basically kind of the like I like the cool dynamic of Finn, like they're like exploring stormtroopers who don't want to be stormtroopers. That's a cool idea.
Yeah. I just wish they, actually did more with it.
Yeah, and then they if you look at just Force Awakens and not with what they do with it later on, it's good in Force Awakens, but then they just don't do a lot of with it later on. That's all. So if you look at just Force Awakens, like I think as a initial like Star Wars is back baby, it's not bad at all.
I mean, absolutely. I think when Disney released like the first trailer
Mm-hmm.
for like even as someone who lived and breathed Marvel movies in their prime, like I don't think there's
Sure.
anything that's come close to the level of excitement
No.
that I felt when I first saw the first Force Awakens trailer, because like we're doing Star Wars again with a big name director. Like it was clearly like I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about my memories of that.
Well, and
I
even like and at the time he wasn't as well known, like Adam Driver as the bad guy, like sort
Yeah.
of the bad guy, and like the mask was enough where it was like paid ode to Darth Vader, but wasn't like just Darth Vader's mask. And I like that the main character was Rey, who is this kind of nobody, and they went the other direction. Sometimes with like a
Um
gender switch, it's not great. In this one, I was perfectly fine with the main character not being
I
another
I
Skywalker dude.
I think she's perfectly adequate. Again, it's not like this is Daisy Ridley's fault. I don't like that she's essentially just female Luke.
Fair.
I mean, and
And again, we're
there's
just looking at the first movie. We're not talking
we're
about the other
just
ones
looking at the
yet.
first one. Like I think it's fun. I think the effects are great. John Williams
Mm-hmm.
comes back and is able
Yes.
to kind of reinvent the Star Wars theme. I think it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I mean
Uh,
the first. And it's not the opening bit, but it's fairly towards the beginning where they're basically getting chased by Tie fighters in the Millennium
oh
Falcon
yeah,
through like
it's
a
great.
crushed in the desert
And
of
uh,
a cruiser.
yeah, I
Super
mean,
fucking cool, dude.
I, I I I think the only reason why I would put it maybe as like at a 3 out of 5 is that it does feel like you're retreading A New Hope a
Yeah,
lot.
which that is really my only main issue
But
with
like
it. Otherwise,
if
I'm
you're
here
gonna
for
do
it.
a modern remake of a classic movie, there are worse movies to do a modern remake of. Like
Yes.
it is a little bit underwhelming as far as is it's not actually a new story, but I think it's perfectly serviceable and it's a lot of fun.
And I think that's a good way to segue into the next one because it is.
We're gonna disagree on some stuff here, I feel.
Yeah, we will probably disagree on a lot of things. What are you talking about?
So the next one is The Last Jedi. Duncan, why don't you go ahead and start?
I would call this. Man, I'm between a 4 and a 4.5.
Are you okay?
Now, let me explain. So, the only thing that I would either cut out or get rid of or just it serves no purpose is the entire like
Oh,
casino.
yeah, it's
But
terrible.
if you take that out, like visually super cool on all the different planets they're going to, um like Rey is slowly like going through her the trials of becoming a Jedi. Like it's an interesting like it feels at least unique. It feels like, oh, you don't actually know what's going to happen next. Like, oh, the entire fight scene with in Snoke's
I mean, that is a pretty
quarters,
incredible fight scene.
so so cool.
Like choreography wise, it's pretty
Yeah,
incredible.
no, it's awesome. Like you get Force Ghost Yoda destroying the sacred
Uh,
texts. but then you find out that he doesn't. But like, I don't know. I like Luke's world that he like exiles himself to. The music is awesome. There's a couple of ones. I think it's called "The Spark." Is like I
Oh
listen
yeah,
to that track all the time, dude. Um, that's when like Luke like force projects himself onto the planet to
I
like
know exactly which
distract.
one you're talking about.
That
Yeah.
whole scene, like that, all of that stuff is so cool, dude. Like I get excited just fucking talking about it. Yes, there are
So
problems with this, and that they basically just retcon the entire fucking thing. But I really like it. Oh, and when the chick from Jurassic Park, Laura Dern, like shoots the entire cruiser through a starship, and like that whole visual is amazing.
it is. Okay.
Ugh.
So
Like I so distinctly remember watching this in theaters and like those specific moments being like, holy shit, like just
I
like
know
losing it, dude.
I took you to the theaters and paid for your ticket.
I don't remember, but okay.
Yeah. No, I have distinct memory of us
Okay.
going to see this at the theater in Auburn
Hmm.
at
Okay,
like the
sorry.
Super Mall theater.
So that is my stance. These are my
Okay.
reasons why. But I
Um.
also understand like the yeah,
So
that whole scene, that whole like probably 20 to 30 minutes of the movie, because this is a long movie. This is an hour this is 152 minutes.
yes.
So yeah,
Um.
you could cut out 20,
I
30 minutes.
don't like this movie. Now, this doesn't
Okay.
mean that I hate it, and
No, no.
my
Okay.
opinions on it have like evolved over the years.
Sure.
Um, I don't think it's as good as you do. I think there are there are differently like sequences that I enjoy a lot. There are some ideas it tries to push forward that I think are interesting. I just don't think it's executed very well. And I really don't agree with the whole reasoning of how, Luke was going to murder someone because he thought he might become, evil eventually. Like that as someone who grew up loving the original ones, that's not Luke's character at all. This is someone who redeemed Darth Vader. This is someone who looked in his father's eyes as someone who had been a, intergalactic mass murderer and say, "You know what? I still love you. I still see good in you." Just because it's greasy haired Adam Driver being angsty, I don't agree that that's a good enough backstory for this.
Okay. That's fair. I do
Um,
get that. I do get that.
Again, I think the visuals in this are probably the most artsy of like of the sequel trilogy, because you got lots of strong reds and strong whites, especially on Crate, the planet made out of
Mhm.
salt.
Sure.
Like, again, movie looks fantastic, and a lot of the music's excellent. I lots of the plot I just don't like. Again, all the sequences that you talked about, yeah, those sequences are good in isolation. I think if I look at this movie all together, it's like a 2.5, 3 out of 5 for me.
Okay.
There's just
It's interesting cuz
there's
like
there's a lot of questionableness in my opinion to get to those good sequences. Like, don't even get me started on the character of Rose.
oh
I
yeah,
think
that
she's
yeah.
so incredibly annoying, and
Not even annoying, just like it
a character
seemed.
that doesn't survive the gender swap.
Yeah, it's not. It's just again, I don't think it was her. I think it was the writing and the direction.
Oh yeah, like I'm not saying it's I don't remember that actress's name. I like, just like with my problems with Ray in the next one, like it's never the actor's fault for the performance that they turn in, especially like the script or anything like they're not the ones writing the movie. So
Hmm.
my issue is not with them. I think Rose as a character kind of pointless.
To a
I
certain degree, yes.
I like the whole thing where we're jumping the ship through the other cruisers and blowing them into bits. That's super striking and a great image. I the writing trope that I hate the most, unironically, is miscommunication as a way to sow plot. I can't stand it, and that's the entirety of Laura Dern's character's thing. Is that, oh, we're gonna
I'm just gonna
not
not tell
tell.
people thing. Yeah,
That's so that's so stupid. It's so like
Yes,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna get like heated about this, but just like how are you the leader of the rebellion and you're not telling the captain of your like starfighter team
Communication
or
skills? What?
like how are you not telling Poe, who is supposed to be like your best fighter pilot, what's going on? Like that's so dumb. Like
Yeah, the
that's
whole like just
so
blindly follow me. Yes.
yeah, that's so contrived for the sake of the scene. And it
Sure.
just
No, I get it.
it annoys me every time.
The weird part is like the what you said though about like how you felt after watching like the teaser or the trailer for Force Awakens. That's how I felt for this because
Really?
if you dude, if you ever have a chance, like just like even just rewatching either the teaser or the trailer for this, and or watching anyone like where they like reacted to it like in real
Oh yeah.
time. Oh, dude, it gives me all the emotions, all the fucking
Well,
emotions.
I remember at the time, Rian Johnson was the big draw for this,
He was,
and
and he
obviously,
well, he
uh,
tentatively still has like a deal to do a trilogy of his own, but I don't think that's ever going to
well,
happen.
Lucasfilm has a very or Disney-fied Lucasfilm has a
Yes,
very
that's a better
irritating
way to word
thing
it.
where they will announce like 300 projects and then they'll maybe make one.
Yeah, just like the
No,
guy
but
who did, I think James Mangold
well, right, like
has also said,
James
"Oh, I'm going to
Mangold
do
was
a
supposed to
movie,"
make
and
one. Taika Waititi was supposed to make one. Uh,
Levy with Ryan
yeah,
Gosling just
like
announced this year.
it
This
just
year,
again,
yeah.
if you make those, great, but just make them. Stop announcing things and then never doing them. But what I was going to say about Rian Johnson is that at the time, obviously, Knives Out didn't exist, so everyone's like expectation was him. Okay, he had done Looper, so this is going to have the same kind of like kind of dark-ish vibes as Looper. In some ways, it does, but
Some ways,
it's still by Disney, and so you can't do a whole lot of like the full realization. I feel like of some of those things.
but I feel like compared to like J.J. Abrams, who had a much bigger like background, he
Yeah.
was the first like non.
Oh, I mean, he for all intents and purposes, he was a complete unknown.
And I mean, again, I feel like either you really loved this or you really didn't. But
Also, just
that's
one
The
last
Last
thing.
Jedi.
Um, I don't understand why they killed off Snoke in this one. Like,
Yeah,
I feel
well,
like it would have been so much better if he stays around for the third one, and then he's like revealed to be Palpatine or something. Like, if
so
we truly have to keep the plot of number three, which it's a big if, but like if you
hold
had
on.
to,
Don't keep the plot of number three because a I
it's
would.
so bad.
It's so bad. But hold on, just listen. So, I'm fine with him getting killed, but I don't. I don't know if I love.
How he's killed.
I'm fine with that. It's just I don't want. Okay, let me reword this.
Okay.
I am fine with how that part of the story in number two played out, but I just don't love how they executed it in the next one because I don't think that was really the like uh what's his name, Adam Driver. I think at that point he became the supreme leader. He became the actual bad guy in that moment, and he became like quote unquote the Darth Vader at that time. And
Yeah,
then
kinda.
during the next movie, yeah, that Ray slash Luke can I don't know, win him back over.
Well, we've kind of danced around it a few times. Do you want to just get into the Rise of Skywalker?
Sure. Where do we fucking start with this atrocity? So,
Okay, so before we go on a whole rant about how we don't like it, what's something that you actually like about the Rise of Skywalker? If you had to actually find something.
so I'm glad. I don't know. I feel I sort of like that Kylo Ren gets his helmet back, even though I think it looks kind of dumb with all like the like
The
marks
red
on
like
it.
cracks on it.
Yeah, I think it looks kind of dumb, but it feels actually like a villain. Like just seeing like weird faced Adam Driver all the time. Sure, he can emote more that way, but it doesn't feel as
Yeah.
villainous. It doesn't feel like he's embracing that. Um, I like that they at least sort of referenced the Knights of Ren, even though they did nothing fucking with them. Uh, what else? Billy D. Williams came back, who I
Yeah.
love. Generally speaking,
So I guess
I
if
don't
I
have a
would have
lot
to,
of nice things to say.
yeah,
Oof.
well, me neither. That's why I want to try. Okay, let's say something positive. I do like the send off that they give Carrie Fisher in this.
Sure, I agree
I
with
thought
that.
that was nice.
Yeah, I'm thinking, dude. I got nothing. Like, visually not interesting. Like,
Not really.
the writing is. I mean, you. That's so bad. Like,
Somehow Palpatine returned. Like it
Someone was
is
paid to write that, or they
probably
fly now.
thousands of dollars.
They fly now. Yeah.
Um, I like that they did actually bring back Ian McDermott to play Palpatine. Even if I don't
Sure.
think it's a good idea to bring Palpatine back, at least he looks like he's still having a lot of fun.
And they did when they were like all the generations of Jedi are in me. Like they used all the other like they
Yeah.
literally used everyone, which I thought was really cool.
Well, and they brought in Ewan McGregor to record some new lines and stuff. Like in isolation, that's kind of cool.
Sure. I
Um,
feel like they totally bungled the whole Rey and Finn dynamic though, and they're like, oh, let's
oh,
actually
I
have her
mean,
focus
Finn
with
may as well not be in this movie.
yes. Even Poe was not in it a ton either. Like
And so,
it's really just Rey and Kylo Ren, and I don't care.
and I
Like,
think so. I think what's most frustrating is that for all of them, not just Rise of Skywalker, even though that's where all the bad ideas come home to roost, if you will, is that there clearly wasn't a concrete plan about where Disney wanted this
sure.
trilogy to go. And so they
Which
were constantly trying to reinvent it and make it up as they went.
which by the time they get to this one, they're basically using a MacGuffin of, oh, we need to find these little signal things that take us to
That
the
we've
Sith planet.
never
Like,
heard of before.
yeah, all of that was super dumb. I'll be honest. Yeah, super dumb.
I mean, I do like that we get to see Exegol. I think that's kind of cool. Like,
Yeah, to a certain degree.
because the home world of the Jedi is a thing that Lucas talked about doing. So at least that's not a terrible idea. But you're going
No.
there to find what was clearly designed to be a marketable toy.
Yeah, and like the whole uh chick from what else has she been in? The African American girl who like rode the horses across. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh god, that's such a
That
cringy
whole
scene. I completely
it's
forgot
so
about
cringy, dude.
that.
It's so fucking cringy.
Dewanda Wise, I believe.
Yes, all of that just.
I well,
And again,
again,
if you look at the runtime, this is two
this
and
is
a
a
half
long
hours.
movie.
It's fucking long, dude.
And I think what's different compared between this one and even Last Jedi, this one feels long. The other ones, like, there's enough things happening to where you don't
Mm-hmm.
feel bored. I genuinely felt bored watching Rise of Skywalker.
Well, and like halfway through, they're like, oh, we found this dagger that we have to like use
Oh
as like
yeah,
a
that we have to
Goonies
freaking.
moment.
Oh, I was about to say that we have to we have to redo the Goonies with a dagger.
And that whole bit where like they're under, they're looking for the dagger and they go underneath this sand thing and there's a worm that might attack. Like it's this whole.
I don't mind the worm because that's a nice
eh,
practical effect.
to a
Like
certain degree, yes, but then
and it's a plot device to show that, oh, now
she can
suddenly we
heal
have
someone.
force healing, something that has never shown up in any of the other Star Wars movies.
I mean, they
Um,
reference the I mean, Darth Plagueis the Wise, Hayden. I don't know. They do reference it.
but
The
not in this like
tragedy.
directly hands-on way.
And see, I would be fine with it unless, oh, as soon as you heal someone, they also want to make out with you.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Ugh.
Also,
But
you're related,
that part,
so
no, they're not. I mean,
yes, they
they're
are,
wait, they're hold on.
aren't they?
No, one's a Palpatine, one's a
Oh, yeah. You're right.
yeah, they're not related. But also, like that whole thing was not paid off like that. No one was
No.
looking for that.
Well, okay,
Like what the
so
fuck?
you can kind of see flirting happening in The Last Jedi,
A little
but
when they're like connected, sure.
definitely not. Oh, we should be making out, by the next movie. That it
No,
just it felt
especially
like
with
we
like they
jumped over a
clearly
bunch of character development
yes, and
that just happened
especially
off screen.
from the first movie, Finn was already like, "What's up?" Like
Right.
that could have been
And
more. I don't know. I would have preferred that.
honestly, I not that it's Daisy Ridley's fault or whatever. But like Finn should have been the main character.
Maybe not the
He
main
should have
character, but
been the one
like
who yeah.
mm,
Or
parts.
he shouldn't
So
have been sidelined so much.
not okay. I agree with the sidelining, but I don't know. Like I think they could have like co-led, co-starred, whatever you want to call it. Like,
Hmm.
I like her as like the lead Jedi, but like I feel like they could have done a lot more with him, like going beyond being a stormtrooper, because they didn't really
Yeah,
do a whole lot of anything with that.
not really. Oh, something I completely forgot about from Last Jedi. He freaking killed off what's her face, the big shiny.
Captain
Um,
Phasma,
yeah,
yes,
like they
which
just have her fall off a cliff and like, oh, sorry, we wrote you off. Like, no, have her have like a final showdown in this one,
well,
and
see,
don't
that's
even get
why
me started on freaking what's the little ginger haired guy?
ginger-haired guy.
Yeah, he's played by an Irish actor. Um, he's in all three of them. He leads the First Order army.
Oh, Don Hill Gleason,
Yeah, what's his freaking character's name?
General Hux.
Yeah, like freaking General Hux says like, "Oh, I don't care who wins the war. I just want to see Kylo lose." What the fuck were you doing the past two movies then?
No, yeah, that's dumb.
It
But
just
see, I liked the right amount of, at least in Last Jedi in the beginning when Poe is fucking with him. That was
yeah.
fun. But
Oh, I
that's really
mean,
all I
yeah.
wanted out of that. I don't want any more of that.
Yeah, I
And
just
the whole I'm the spy. Ugh.
not that like I mean, even by the other one standards, there's not like a huge amount of subtlety going on, but like that's so on the
On the
nose and
nose. Yeah.
so lacking any kind of like yeah, subtlety, I guess.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree about that. Did we I don't think we rated Rise of
We
Skywalker.
did not know. Because
I would probably
I wanted to start us off with like, okay, what's something positive?
and now that we've completely talked about all the negatives, I'd probably
I'm
call it
sure there's
like
more negatives that we haven't even touched on.
and I should
Genuinely.
preface and we I no, I definitely agree. I should preface this that no matter what, I mean, all of these movies, yes, some are better than others, and I would still probably call this not a good movie. But
No.
I mean, I'm still glad it was made at all because I still like getting Star Wars content, no matter what it is. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I could wish a lot of things. I could wish they did a lot of different things than what they did, but like, that is what it was. There are some of it's that I liked, and there's a lot of it's that I didn't. So I would call it like a 2 out of 5, 1.5 if I'm being really honest. But because like there are some
Yeah,
like
I'm also this is like a 1.5 for me as well. It just
when
so unrelentingly bad.
well I did like, now that I think about it, like the bits where Kylo Ren is feeling remorse and he's seeing Han Solo. I like
I didn't
that.
like that at all.
Oh, I like that.
I feel like bringing Han Solo back as a Force ghost
More or less.
kind of cheapens his sacrifice in the other one. I just basically saying, "Oh, you know, your mom's dead. You should feel bad about that and stop being a Sith." I don't know. That's just dumb. I feel like there are so many other ways that made more sense for Kylo as a character than just his dad coming back and saying, "You've been a bad boy."
I don't think that's what he said, but okay.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, yes.
Either way, I gave it a 1.5 to 2. What did you give it, Hayden?
Oh, I just said I also said, you know, it's like a 1.5.
No, okay, sorry, I must have missed that. Okay, so that, folks, is
Well,
well
okay,
9 movies.
should we cover um Rogue One and Solo?
We should cover, at least let's start with, because again, that's only 47 minutes. That's not that much
Sure.
for a special feature. At least any like full length movie that has been released.
Oh yeah, because I'm not talking. Oh, you know, we'll talk about Mandalorian. I'm not meaning that.
Sure, because I was like, yeah, I've got thoughts, but no, we don't need to talk about that. Let's just do the movies. So let's do Rogue One because I think that came out first.
It did. Um, I think Rogue One is excellent.
I don't know if it's a perfect movie, but it's pretty dang close.
Like I don't know if I would consider it in the same language as I would consider something like Empire Strikes Back. but it's pretty close. Like I think it's really good. I think what it does best is that it has nothing to do with Skywalker or anything.
Yeah, and even if you knew nothing about these movies, if you didn't care about these movies and you still watched this movie, you would still probably love it just for the visuals. Like it is beautiful. It's like it's a stunning movie. And like that whole basically like the third act when they get to Scarif to get the
Oh,
plans.
it's
Oh
amazing.
my god, it's amazing. There are parts of the only reason why I maybe knocked down this a little bit is the main chick, Felicity. What's her name?
Felicity Jones.
Thank you, Felicity Jones. What's that accent? What the fuck is she doing? Like I know that's like
Well,
her actual voice, but like I just didn't like it.
yeah, but I mean, another point is why doesn't her and her father have the same accent?
And also, dude, Mad Mickelson, awesome.
I mean, again, he's great, but like now what you're bringing up, shouldn't they have the same accent?
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense. Uh, Ben Mendelsohn as the bad guy, awesome.
Oh, I mean,
Always a great, like he's great.
he's great, and also like he is like menacing and unstable in a
Yes.
way that Palpatine never was. I like that they went with a different kind of like military,
Well,
sociopath instead of
feels
like
like the whole
religious
time it feels like he
fanatic.
is trying to like prove himself.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, he is.
And Rogue One gives you two, I think, of the best. Oh, one for sure, maybe two of the best Lord Vader scenes. So one when he meets with Ben Mendelsohn to talk about like, hey, you've got some problems. Like he is up on this stairway and he walks down to meet him. Looks fucking amazing. But yes, the main one,
Don't choke on your aspirations.
yes, that part, yes, fucking awesome. But yeah, the main one in the hallway with oh my god, dude,
Genuinely hang it in a museum. It's art.
it's so fucking good. Holy shit. And I like that they make it like you know what's going to happen. They get the plans. Princess Leia gets them onto her. Like they do the right motions to get there, but it's not boring. It's actually interesting,
No,
and it was interesting enough for them to actually create Andor, and Andor is fucking awesome.
I mean, Andor is definitely a different beast, even
Oh,
compared to
for
Rogue
sure.
One. But like, it is when people have been asking for years, like, oh, you should make Star Wars more adult. You should make Star Wars more adult. This is what adults watch.
Yes,
They
100%.
watch, you know, complex, morally ambiguous dramas, and that is what Andor is to a T. It's very good.
hmm And part of me thinks, okay, I kind of wish maybe not Skywalker specific, but I kind of sort of want lightsabers in this, but at the same time, I'm glad there wasn't. I don't know. I go back and forth. Not a lot, but I kind of wanted something.
I love a good lightsaber, but I think it was important for this one to be about quote unquote normal people
Sure,
and not about like magic because it's much more of a grounded story.
that's fair. I get that.
I do think something that is the when I read other people talk about this is that this is the first movie where Darth Vader is actually scary.
Oh yeah, dude, he's
Like,
scary in this. That's very
well,
true.
like I mean, like in the originals, he's certainly imposing as a villain. As much as we talk up the hallway scene, like that is genuinely a frightening scene.
Yeah, I mean, where he's like legit like fucking people up.
I
Yeah,
mean, he's like skewering people through doors and like crushing them with like in the force, and the music is going nuts. I mean, it's some of Giacchino's best stuff. Yeah, it's great.
yeah, yeah. If you haven't seen Rogue One, I'd say definitely watch that. Uh, and then I guess the other one that was greenlit and made was Solo, and I
Solo is still fun. It's not as good in my opinion.
it's not as good, but honestly, I think it's pretty consistently a bad rap. It's maybe not my favorite Star Wars, but I actually really enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. The characters are interesting. I
I
think, I mean, Donald Glover as
well,
Lando is
I'm
amazing.
disappointed that they never made his Lando movie. because they were going to.
Oh, I know. It's just he got busy with other things, but I even people give the main guy some hate as Harrison Ford. I'm perfectly fine with it.
I agree. I think he's perfectly fine. I think most people were just mad that he wasn't Harrison Ford,
Sure, but
which is
like,
not his
fuck
fault.
him. Yeah. No, the droids were cool. The whole train heist cool.
And that's kind of my whole takeaway is that like I like that this is essentially a heist movie set in the Star Wars universe,
Yeah, and it's
which is not
enough.
something I ever knew that I needed, but
Well,
it's
again, and
great.
it's enough in the universe for you to like where things make sense and you recognize things like, oh, this is connected to this. Like you understand the references, but
Yeah.
it's not like A story. It is like, oh, this is on the far end. This is like C story kind of thing.
Yeah, and I like that we're getting into like mob bosses, and you got Paul
Mm-hmm.
Bettany playing a crime boss, and
Amelia Clark as his lieutenant, and she's beautiful. Ugh,
I'm yes, she is. God damn. I am kind of disappointed that we will most likely never go back to it
probably
because
not.
she kind of takes over as the crime boss. I think that's a cool
Well,
idea.
they reference her like her boss is Darth Maul.
Again, that's a crazy storyline. Please do more with it.
And so they did announce Maul Shadow Lord or whatever. So maybe they will talk about that. And I know
I feel like
I
they'll
haven't.
just do an animated thing though.
Well, they already it is going to be animated, but I also Darth Maul was a lot in the Clone Wars,
Oh yeah.
and I haven't watched really any of it because I didn't really like the animation style. But he was a lot in Rebels.
Yeah, I didn't like the animation either. I haven't yet to watch it.
But yeah, I don't know. I would probably give Solo. Here, what would you give it? Let me think for a second.
It's like a solid 3 out of 5. I don't think it's perfect. I think there's some pacing issues. I think there's some weirdness with the villain sometimes, but it's very very fun. I think on some level, even the most like bad quote unquote Star Wars movie is still pretty enjoyable.
Oh, I agree. Even that's why I said even Rise of Skywalker. Like there's some shitty parts, but like it's still fun.
Like I
Solo, I
like
would
the
probably give like a 3.5, maybe 4 if I'm being
yeah.
generous.
Well, I mean, I like how they explain how
He becomes Han Solo,
well, I mean, yes, but also about how he meets
Chewbacca.
Chewie, where
Yeah.
he's drafted into the army, and Chewie is the beast that they send people down to. I like, I think that's fun.
Do you before I think that's all the movies. Overall, do you have a favorite character overall?
Oh man, that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all 9,
Sure.
man, that's hard. I guess my first instinct is to go by trilogy. I think just because
Okay,
sometimes
go
there's
by
no
trilogy.
just because there's no carryover between them.
Okay, go by trilogy.
It's definitely Ewan McGregor
Oh,
as
agreed.
Obi-Wan. Like
Yeah,
that is
agreed.
just such perfect casting.
Yes, he's excellent.
Um Again, no shade to Hayden Christensen.
And I'm glad that he has gotten a lot more love as time has gone on.
And he himself has embraced it more
Embraced it more.
often. Yeah.
Yes.
But like
No, it's just yes, we
Ewan
don't I
Ewan,
don't
Ewan
even think we
McGregor
need
is
to talk about
perfect.
why Ewan McGregor is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Okay.
then in
That's
the
the
original
prequels.
trilogy,
Dude, Han Solo. Definitely Han
I
Solo.
mean, yeah, but I don't want to go with the basic answer. But yes, it's
Either
Han
Han
Solo,
Solo
or I
or
go with Lando.
Lando? Yeah.
Yeah, because just Luke is really whiny. I get that that's his whole thing, but like he's really whiny, and he has chosen one syndrome pretty much early on.
Yeah,
So
and Leia, I don't know. No, it's
Leia
definitely
doesn't
it's definitely
become like a full character until number 3.
okay. And
But
the sequels,
man, I guess Finn, maybe Kylo, but like their characterization changes so much depending on which one it is that like
true.
they sometimes act like completely different people. Like Finn in Force Awakens is completely different from Finn in Rise of Skywalker.
And yes, time passes and people like characters change. So I'm glad that they're not like the same person the entire time.
Sure.
But no, I do get what you're saying. I would probably say maybe Poe
Oh yeah, see, I completely forgot. Yeah, Poe is essentially the Han Solo stand-in. So sure.
or the uh slightly Asian like person who owns the like cantina in the first one that they get information from in the second, who's
Oh yeah,
voiced
yeah,
by, I
yeah.
can't remember who she's voiced by,
Uh,
but
Lupita Nyong'o.
yes, yes, she's fun. I like her.
Well, do we want to talk about the the shows at all, or just stick
I
with movies?
Let's stick with movies. Maybe in
Because we're not the TV show bros, we're the movie bros, clearly. So I know that some people have, thrown around the idea that you should watch this out of order. Have you heard that idea?
I've heard it. I don't agree with it.
Okay, because I was curious to see what you thought about that.
I would either watch this in order of release or I would watch this in order of like episode. Those are the only two ways I think to watch these.
I agree. I mean, I know that if I've heard it, said that, if you watch Phantom Menace, then Attack of the Clones, but then you switch to the other ones and you can, switch
Nah,
back and forth, and you can like, nah, that's
I'm good.
confusing.
I'm good.
Either watch it in order or watch it in release order. It's the
Yeah,
only
either
way.
one is fine. Okay. Anything else you can think of for our semi Star Wars themed special
Well,
feature?
um, if you're in the Star Wars universe, would you be a Sith or a Jedi, or would you be like a bounty hunter, or if you
I
had
would
to
be more like a
self-insert
Han.
yourself? Okay, okay,
Looking, I just even just if I like think of who I am as a person, I think I'd be a Han.
fair. I think.
Or no, actually no. Now that I think about it, I would be like I would be the Jude Law character from Skeleton Crew, but but more Han, more uh like positive, or I don't know what like the chart of
so
like
so
chaotic,
not
neutral,
Jude
chaotic.
Law.
Well, just like the whole like has force training but not an actual Jedi, but still a kind of a mercenary, like
Okay.
yeah, that kind of vibe. If that makes any kind of sense. And Hayden, would you be a Sith?
I've always said that if I had to choose between the two, then I probably would, just because they have
The
a
cooler
cooler.
lightsabers,
Well, and not just the lightsabers.
cooler
All of
names.
all of their aesthetic stuff is cooler. You have the cooler ships. You have the cooler outfits. Like I don't know. On the other hand, like yes, they are obviously evil, so it's not like you be wanting to throw in with the people who are blowing up planets. I
I mean,
think
how
in
many
all
planets do we really
reality,
need?
I think in all reality, if I was to be like a normal person, I'd probably, I don't know, I'd be like a working deckhand on like a long haul like cruiser kind of thing. Like I think I'd be a similar person to as I am now, just in space.
It would be pretty wild to be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to my job, and there might be this like basically a knight in shining armor with a laser sword that might cut
Yeah,
me in half at some like kind of
yeah.
wild, kind of wild.
Well, it's like in the original cut of A New Hope when they go to freaking Hive of Scum and Villainy. What's the name of that bar?
What are you
The
talking about?
Cantina.
Oh, Mos Eisley, the
Right.
spaceport.
Well, right, because yeah. So when they go to Mos Eisley and they're in the bar and they cut off that dude's arm,
Yes.
in the original version, there's blood all over the floor and stuff. If you watch it on Disney Plus now, they've taken that out.
Well, I mean, it does kind of make sense because laser swords would literally cauterize the wounds
Yeah.
anytime they stab someone or cut anything. So
No, it's just interesting to see how, I guess it's kind of been quote unquote sanitized, but that does make sense.
fair. Just like when I think of like Mace Windu getting both his hands chopped off, I was like, oh, there would like if that was like a regular sword or knife, like blood would be fucking everywhere.
Well, I do remember even for like 2005, it was a big deal that that one was rated PG-13 when all the other ones have always been PG.
That's fair.
Although obviously Anakin gets burned alive by lava, so it's
I
not
mean,
without a reason.
that hand's getting cut off. They chop off Count Dooku's head.
They electrocute some people, things like
Yeah,
that.
they reference killing a bunch of kids.
Oh yeah, freaking murdering the younglings. Well, It's probably going to be us wrapping up the Star Wars special. May the Force be with you, and thanks for listening.